Okay, my personal statement essay. What should I write about? Let's come up with a good idea, one that will get me into the college of my dreams. What's happened in my life? What are important things that have happened in my life? You know what? Let's just start out with something basic. Nope, no, that's not great. Let's try some things out. Nope, that is also not good. What the fuck do I do? What do people write about? You know that saying that's like, you shouldn't try to go find love because love will find you when the time is right? Do you think that's how it works with personal statement essay ideas? Like, maybe I shouldn't even be trying to come up with an idea. Maybe the idea will just pop up into my brain when the time's right. No, that's bullshit. Let's get writing. Oh, here's an idea. What if I wrote about that time I lost my voice and everything that I learned about it? Okay, how should I start? I never wanted to speak so much until I lost my voice.
I was standing outside of my Spanish classroom, nervously awaiting my upcoming graded debate. Even though I had been sick for weeks, having foolishly taken a sip of water from an ill friend's water bottle, I was determined to press on and perform. My teacher opened the door and signaled me to come in. I felt my body begin its pre-test ritual. My heart began pounding, my lungs were shallow with their breath, and my mouth became as dry as the Atacama Desert. Though these sensations concerned me, they were far from foreign. What I feared most was that my weakened voice would pale. When it came to my opening statement on the gender binaries that exist among men and women across Hispanic cultures, my fear became a reality, and I was unable to produce a sound. All I wanted to do was speak and be heard. My experience with laryngitis deepened my understanding of the struggle my grandma faces every day of her life. Diagnosed with stage 4 laryngeal cancer in 1999, her survival depended on having a laryngectomy, in which her voice box was entirely removed. She now breathes and produces faint sounds through a laryngectomy tube in her trachea. Given that she lacks the luxury of unlimited speech, she is forced to be uber-conscious of every spoken word. Although my family and I can usually decipher what she's trying to say by reading her lips, most people cannot. Having laryngitis gave me a glimpse into how she has to navigate the world, voiceless. When I couldn't speak, I heard more. Rather than constantly fretting over what I was going to say next, I honed in on what my peers had to say and the significance behind their words. While I valued my newfound ability to hear others, the experience was fraught. I became cognizant of the nonsense inherent in teenage conversations. The subtle self-praise, the embellishment of stories, the backhanded comments. I suddenly noticed it all. Albeit difficult, with heightened hearing, I developed the ability to discern between which discussions were actually meaningful to me and which were not. The lunchroom conversations driven by the gossip of teenagers, for which I once engaged, now seemed meaningless. Whereas classroom conversations that I previously deemed optional and secondary seemed ripe for contribution. My verbal priorities completely changed. When I had the advantage of unlimited speech, I had the freedom to ramble. I could complain, digress, distort, embellish, and transgress at will. Yet when my speech was limited, I was forced to be hypervigilant of every word I chose. I didn't have the luxury of including the preamble and unnecessary niceties that often accompany dialogue. I had taken my unrestricted voice for granted. I now acknowledge that having a voice is a privilege. Laryngitis instilled in me a newfound understanding and appreciation for the power of speech. Ever since I discovered the weight of my voice, I've become extremely mindful of how I employ it. I am conscious of how my words are received by my peers. I seek to empower rather than offend. While I employ my voice in many different ways, to add humor, to provoke, to concur, and to dispute, I consistently focus on the impact of my words, knowing their power.
No. Sorry. That was good. Fuck, one more time.
Forgive me. No, this is good. Forgive me. Sorry, I started laughing. I feel like
I'm sorry. I didn't even break character.
Okay, let me okay, but like in the middle, talk for like 10 minutes. So can you talk and I'm gonna be the listener?
Squish? Do I have to do it?
It's recording.
Okay, so you're just gonna cut.
Yeah.
From Town Park. So,
Okay. Should I be the starter still?
Sure. Okay. And action.
Oh my god. Do you, like, I just can't with him anymore. Like, do you see him? Like, look. She doesn't see it, but like, I